Hi everyone, Melissa Ullman, the Creative Chatterbox here with you today. And I'm thinking flowers. It is so gorgeous here in Colorado right now, and our flowers are starting to bloom. We're starting to see them in the stores, landscaping stores, etc. So I wanted to show you another way to create some flowers. So with that, we are going to be using the word bubble punch. So kind of a fun way, right? So let me just slide this out of the way here for you. I'll maybe leave them tucked into the corner so you can see what we're doing. I did create one just so you have an idea. Show you here. I have not put a center on it, but other options for centers are coming your way. So we want to create the pot in which these flowers are going to go into. So let's go ahead, and we are going to be cutting a piece of hot fudge cardstock that measures 3 inches by 4 inches. There we go. And then we are going to be cutting a piece that is 1/2 inch wide by 4.5 inches. So just 1/2 inch longer than the pot itself. All right, so I like to save my sheets. So this is just the base piece from the sticker sheets that we get with our collections. And after I've used all the stickers, I save the base piece to build clusters off of and etc. So I do want to use that as well. But before we do that, we're going to be cutting the base of the pot. So as you see here, it's got a slight angle on it. So we're just going to use our trimmer, and we are going to put the top corner on the cutting line here on the track of our trimmer. And then we're just gonna take and, keeping that corner there. And then this bottom corner, we're just gonna slide it so it hits the 1/2 inch mark, which is this first black line. Okay, so we're gonna cut that. Okay, so we've got an angle there. We won't need this, you can set that aside. And then we're gonna flip this over, and we're gonna do the exact same thing with the corner on the cutting line, and then this bottom corner here at the 1/2 inch line. Okay, so that gives us our angled pot. All right. So in order for us to give this pot some dimension, and this is why I like to use these sticker bases here, you can use either the brown or the black, whichever you prefer. I use the brown on this one, but let's use the black just so you can kind of see how this can make it stand out. I'm literally just going to take this and run it on the edge. So I'm almost like I'm drawing on the sticker base here, but it's going on the top edge of that. And then we'll take and run it along all 4 of the edges with that. So that's just gonna really show it off. Okay, so you see how nicely that kind of highlights the edges. But we also want to do that on this piece here. So we'll run it along those edges. And this just keeps the mess of the pen from the edge on this sticker base there. Okay, all right. So we have those 2 pieces. And now what we're going to do is we are going to take and put repositionable along the back of this piece. And then we're just gonna center it right along this top edge of our pot. Okay, so just right along the top there. Okay, so now we have our pot, and you can vary the sizes on this one. You may have seen a previous project that I created, that I made some smaller pots out of this, which is also a super fun idea. But now let's go ahead and create our flowers. So I wanted to add orange into the mix. Our springtime soiree has the pink, the purple. It does have the soft yellow, but I wanted to add some brighter colors into my potted flowers here. So I pulled out this orange and this little brighter, darker yellow from the sun-soaked collection. So let's go ahead and I'll just show you here. So we're gonna punch 8 of these with this bubble punch. So we'll just there we go. And I'm gonna get these all flipped over here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to put repositionable just on this one side. So you can see there. So the repositionable is just on that one side. And then I'm going to take and match up these little hook pieces on the word bubble and give it about between a quarter and a half, maybe 3/8 of an inch, kind of in between there, just kind of angling it. We'll turn it over and we'll do the same thing. So I'll just kind of keep those hooks together there and then just continue to go around and leaving about the same amount of spacing in between. It is repositionable, so it allows us to move things around once we get to that point if we need to. So we'll just kind of keep those hooks going in a circular motion with that. And then if we have to redo any spacing, we definitely can do that as well. There we go. And we'll get this last one in here. And it doesn't look like we really need to do much on the respacing. The only thing is we'll just go ahead now and make sure that those pieces are together. So now I'm just gonna take my nail kind of underneath it on the inside rounded edge, and I'm just gonna kind of fold it or curl it up just to give the flower some dimension with that. So we'll just kind of take and curl that around. So like I said, kind of bend it, curl it with your thumb and your forefinger. Okay, so now we have our flower. And that is how I created the whole flower pot. So what I like to do to kind of keep all of these pieces anchored together is I like to then take a foam square and a larger piece of foam square and put it over the opening. So that's going to keep all of those adhered together really nicely. And then lots of different ideas that you can use. You can just use a small piece of paper, punch with your hole punch. I actually on mine went through and found some pearl gems that I had to match the colors in which I used. So that was how I did that. And then I just took, so you'll see I've got a couple there, and I just took and cut some green strips, and you can cut kind of 1/4 of an inch or so. And I literally just turned over my pot and ran repositionable at the top there, and then starting on this outside, and I can just tear it, right? So you see there, because this is gonna go then on top of it. And you can put as many flowers in your flower pot as you want to. My edge on my green paper had a wavy cut on it, and I'm just going with that wavy cut. So you see here, and then we'll just vary the different sizes of paper that we have, and we'll continue to, so I put 5 in my pot there earlier, but you can put as many as you want. So just adhering those strips behind and creating. You'll need 8 word bubbles punched to complete your, so then I just added, you know, kind of a halfway. This is a 12 by 7 piece here. Put a mat for a 4 by 6 photo here, and then 3 photos down here. So kind of whichever, you can also create a smaller pot for the front of a card, or perhaps a border that you would want to create as well. So I look forward to seeing all of your fun word bubble flowers. Thank you for joining me. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please like, subscribe, and comment what your favorite tip from this video was. All right, you guys, love and blessings. We'll create again soon.